Parties, of course, meeting for the first time in court today. It was about a 90-minute hearing.
This isn't going to end well for you, Blake. Sorry.
In a world where sometimes people judge you before they give you a chance.
That's all it took for Justin Baldoni to land his first big courtroom win against Blake Lively. And let's just say, it was enough to send Blake and her legal team into a full-blown panic.
Are you going to sue Blake Lively too?
Into oblivion, Megan. Wait till you see this lawsuit. But it's all going to be based on evidence. It's not going to be just a lawsuit.
Blake Lively has filed a federal lawsuit claiming her It Ends With Us co-star Justin Baldoni sexually harassed her, causing her severe emotional distress. And Baldoni is now mounting a counteroffensive, suing the New York Times for $250 million.
Actor-director Justin Baldoni is now suing his former co-star Blake Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds, seeking more than $400 million in damages, accusing them of defamation and extortion.
Justin's lawyer entered armed with a briefcase full of receipts. And let me tell you, Blake did not see this one coming.
Things are getting real messy between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively, and after this courtroom battle, Blake might want to start rethinking everything. Because, let me tell you, things are not looking good for her at all. Not only that, both teams were asked if they were willing to give mediation a chance, but they both said no.
For its star, Blake Lively, it should have been a dream come true. The mainstream success that she'd been chasing for years that would finally elevate her into the ranks of the Hollywood A-lists. Unfortunately, that dream soon turned into a nightmare of multi-million-dollar lawsuits and bitter PR warfare that would destroy careers and pull in some of the biggest names in Hollywood.
Actor-director Justin Baldoni is now suing his former co-star Blake Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds.
True victims who have been in these situations make this book, make this movie, bring on a star of incredible quality. They felt so lucky to be able to get a star of Blake Lively's, height and fame and voice to be able to be a part of it. Rewriting, doing all these things, eventually did her own edit where she just pushed Baldoni out entirely.
Yeah.
But the craziest part about this is now coming back afterwards and alleging harassment, retaliation. It's a superstar. Her and her husband together worth over $500 million.
Yeah.
Well, that energy took a sharp left turn when Justin's team started laying out those receipts one by one. Whew, the tension in that courtroom? You could cut it with a knife. The way his former co-stars are suddenly going silent is telling. But what's even more interesting is how some industry insiders are starting to whisper about Blake's real motives.
You want drama? We've got a full-blown Hollywood hurricane brewing right now, and it's hitting harder than anyone saw coming. It all starts with whispers about Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni locking horns in a legal fiasco that feels straight out of a late-night soap opera. Then, out of nowhere, two Marvel powerhouses, Samuel L. Jackson and Robert Downey Jr., apparently joined forces to call out what they're calling a scam orchestrated by Blake and her husband, Ryan Reynolds. The goal? Some say they squeezed Marvel for ridiculous sums of money or creative control, using every sly trick in the book. Wild? Absolutely. But if even half of these rumors hold water, we could be looking at one of the messiest takedowns in Hollywood history. On the surface, this might sound too insane to be true. Like, can you picture the beloved Reynolds Lively duo plotting in the shadows? Yet stories are piling up, with insiders claiming they've seen the manipulative side of these perfect celebs. And guess who's making the loudest noise? Justin Baldoni, a guy who's earned a reputation for heartwarming projects, now allegedly being trampled by the lively Reynolds juggernaut. Tensions are so thick that Mark Ruffalo's name also popped up, fueling the sense that Marvel's biggest stars have had it with Deadpool's leading man and his wife. So buckle up, because each piece of this puzzle is more outrageous than the last. And if you think we're overhyping, you haven't heard a fraction of it yet. It all kicked off with a rumor that Justin Baldoni was working on a passion project. Something big, something heartfelt, something guaranteed to make waves in the industry. According to the gossip, Blake Lively heard about it and feared it would overshadow a new venture that she and Ryan were cooking up. Some say an anonymous tipster spilled the beans to her. Others believe her people keep tabs on all relevant Hollywood moves. Either way, the alleged result was a flurry of not-so-subtle moves to push Baldoni out of the spotlight. Insider chatter claims that emails started flying, some of them curt, others downright shady, painting Baldoni's project as a potential threat to certain undisclosed deals Ryan Reynolds was hammering out. The cryptic part is how these suspicious messages found their way to major studios around town. A few folks speculate that Blake, or people close to her, made calls suggesting Baldoni's film had problematic budgeting or was too niche to gain broad support. It's all unverified, but the tension ballooned fast enough that Baldoni apparently lawyered up within days. If you're thinking it's already messy, hold your breath, because this petty-sounding spat snowballed into a giant fiasco. Suddenly, tabloids got wind that the disagreements weren't just about film budgets or scheduling. Word on the street said it was personal, with Baldoni feeling blindsided by Blake's behind-the-scenes maneuvering. That sets the stage for a bitter feud that's become the talk of Tinseltown, overshadowing entire press junkets for other movies. People started asking, why are they going so hard at each other? Then a rumor surfaced that Marvel stars had their own bone to pick with Blake and Ryan, because apparently the Deadpool mania came with some serious strings attached. But that wasn't the whole story. When you think Hollywood drama, you usually imagine hush-hush deals, polite PR statements, and maybe a few cryptic tweets. You don't typically expect two Marvel titans to slam an A-list couple for shady behavior. Yet here we are, with Samuel L. Jackson and Robert Downey Jr. supposedly stepping forward to call out Ryan and Blake for a sneaky scheme that allegedly lined their pockets while undermining colleagues. Insiders say that during a private function, some hush-hush Marvel get-together, Jackson made it clear he wasn't thrilled about certain rumored deals Ryan had orchestrated back when Deadpool first became a major phenomenon. RDJ reportedly backed him up, hinting that Ryan and Blake used Deadpool's popularity to demand creative control that reached far beyond typical star privileges. Now, to be fair, sometimes actors do get a say in production. But apparently, this went off the charts with hush-hush clauses that gave Ryan bigger slices of the profit pie, more cameo oversight, and additional marketing sway that overshadowed other Marvel actors. It's one thing if your co-stars politely raise eyebrows, it's another if they're whispering about how you scammed the studio. And the rumor claims that's exactly what Jackson and Downey are calling it, a cunning scam designed to milk Marvel for more money, more fame, and more control. One source even said Jackson threw around words like entitled and manipulative. That's big talk, considering Jackson's known for his tell-it-like-it-is attitude. And if RDJ, Mr. Iron Man himself, is hinting the same, you better believe the entire Avengers roster is paying attention. All of this drama landed squarely in the same rumor mill swirling around Baldoni's legal clash with Blake. People started connecting dots, wondering, could these disputes share a common thread? And next thing you know, the entire narrative took a wild spin, focusing on how exactly Ryan and Blake may have used their star power to outmaneuver both Marvel and any competitor who threatened their shine. So, how do you pull off a scam on a billion-dollar franchise? That's the burning question fueling the chatter around Ryan and Blake. According to the grapevine, it started with Ryan's beloved portrayal of Deadpool, an R-rated comedic masterpiece that fans begged for. Marvel recognized the goldmine that is Deadpool, but the specifics of who owned the rights at which time got complicated. Fox was involved, Disney ended up swallowing Fox, and Marvel ultimately had to juggle multiple deals to keep Deadpool integrated in a bigger cinematic universe. Perfect recipe for behind-the-scenes power moves, right? Rumors say that Ryan leveraged the insane fan demand to negotiate new conditions, like a certain chunk of ticket sale revenues or heavy influence over the final cut. None of that is super shocking in Hollywood. But apparently, the real kicker came when Blake jumped in, wielding her own star power to push the envelope further. Stories claim she used her polished relationships with certain studio execs to sweeten the pot, perhaps by promising cameo, crossovers, or teasing that Deadpool could be the bridge to a bigger Marvel comedic sub-franchise. The end result? Some kind of special arrangement that gave Ryan and Blake behind-the-curtain privileges nobody else had, letting them rework deals in ways that boosted their payday while limiting the involvement or credit for other people. If that's not enough drama, consider the whispers about them funneling marketing decisions away from Marvel's usual committees. Some sources suggest that entire ad campaigns were retooled to highlight Ryan's comedic persona, overshadowing other possible Marvel partnerships. The goal, they say, was to crank up Ryan's brand equity sky high. That might explain why certain Marvel co-stars felt left out, why cameo roles got cut at the last minute, and why folks like Jackson and Downey are seething at how seamlessly Ryan and Blake navigated these deals. But while fans stayed busy lapping up the sassy Deadpool promos, a handful of insiders apparently watched in horror, claiming they saw undisclosed bonus structures that directed more cash to Ryan's camp every time Deadpool broke some kind of record. Did Marvel's top brass knowingly sign off on all this, or were they hoodwinked by Ryan's charismatic pitch? The debate rages on, and just when you think it can't get more bonkers, rumors of meltdown moments and leaked messages pop up, threatening to shatter the squeaky clean image we associate with these big names. Word on the street is that tension boiled over multiple times, leading to meltdown moments that had managers, producers, and assistants scurrying to do damage control. One particularly juicy story claims a recorded voicemail exists, capturing Blake ranting about how people just don't get it, and how she's tired of being polite to those who question their methods. Another rumor suggests a secret audio clip features Ryan speaking bluntly about how Marvel needs him more than he needs them, implying he could walk away at any time and take the Deadpool brand's hype with him. Now, these are rumors. Nobody's posted these alleged recordings on social media yet, so we can't verify. But you know how Tinseltown gossip works. Once the idea is out there, everyone's adding their own spin. Some folks claim these voicemails show a manipulative streak in the couple, basically unmasking them as unstoppable forces who'll do whatever it takes to maintain their advantage. Others say it's all hogwash, possibly orchestrated by jealous rivals who hate seeing Ryan and Blake so successful. Still, the meltdown stories keep stacking up. One unconfirmed but widely circulated anecdote has it that Ryan blew up at a junior producer who questioned the budget for a cameo scene. Another version claims Blake basically elbowed an up-and-coming actress out of a promotional event to keep the spotlight on her and Ryan, leaving the poor newbie star in tears. If even half of this is true, we're looking at a totally different side of the couple who typically show up on social media as the perfect playful duo. So where does Justin Baldoni fit into all of this? Rumor says he either stumbled upon or was directly sent some of these explosive messages, enough to confirm that he wasn't just facing Blake's aggression in the film space, but also stepping into a minefield of Marvel mania. And that's where things supposedly shift from petty rivalry to potential legal warfare. As the meltdown escalated, the entire atmosphere around these celebs reportedly soured. Mark Ruffalo's name pops up again here, with sources insisting he witnessed more than a few tense showdowns involving Ryan. Whether he personally disliked Ryan's approach or simply felt uneasy about the power plays is unclear, but the gossip suggests Mark ended up venting to confidants about the vibe on set turning toxic whenever Ryan insisted on controlling comedic direction or cameo rosters. Meanwhile, production crews started noticing shifts in how certain scripts were handled. Scenes that might have provided a bigger spotlight for co-stars apparently got trimmed or reworked to serve Ryan's comedic brand. People behind the camera whispered about how major Marvel crossovers had to be cleared not just by the usual studio heads, but by Ryan's inner circle. It's an open question how Blake factored in. Did she actively push these angles, or was she merely cheering him on from the sidelines? The rumor mill leans toward the idea that she was knee-deep, leveraging personal connections to keep everything in line with their vision. Behind the scenes, the friction among co-stars was practically a ticking time bomb. If you believe the stories, other Marvel actors, some we know, some we might not, felt overshadowed or exploited by these new terms. But who wants to publicly call out a couple as adored as Ryan and Blake? That's a PR nightmare waiting to happen. Yet here we are, with at least Jackson and Downey rumored to be done playing nice. And Justin Baldoni's feud adds another layer entirely, since he's not even part of the Marvel stable, yet claims to have endured serious meddling from the lively Reynolds camp. All this behind-the-scenes turmoil sets the stage for a showdown that's bigger than any cameo-laden blockbuster. We're talking lawsuits, possible depositions, and major reputational damage. Because once you bring lawyers into the equation, the gloves come off, and that's precisely what people say is happening with Baldoni. So here's the tea. Justin Baldoni, known for his wholesome vibe and positive messages, might be on the warpath. Insiders hint he's collecting receipts, emails, text logs, maybe even those fabled voicemails to show a pattern of sabotage directed at his projects. He's not publicly confirming or denying anything, but rumor says he's determined to drag any and all manipulative tactics out into the open. If you think that's a bluff, consider how strongly he's pivoted his public messaging in recent months. In interviews, he's dropped vague references about negative energy and people who prioritize profits over genuine storytelling. Coincidence? Possibly. But fans are connecting dots and concluding he's talking about the lively Reynolds machine that possibly stomped on his film's rollout. If the gossip is accurate, he believes they orchestrated calls to certain streaming platforms, urging them to pick up Ryan's deals over Justin's. Legal experts, the ones who dish on talk shows anyway, are calling this a Hollywood standoff, where Baldoni has less star power, but potentially more moral high ground, especially if he can prove interference that cost him money or opportunities. If a lawsuit goes forward, we might see depositions from people inside Marvel, from marketing teams, even from co-stars who overheard heated conversations. This could blow the entire Marvel scam angle wide open, shining a floodlight on how Ryan and Blake negotiated behind the scenes. In short, Baldoni's not messing around. He's apparently diving headfirst into a fight that could cost him big if he loses. But the more you hear about these rumors, the more it sounds like he's convinced the world needs to see the truth about how Lively and Reynolds play the game. And if Samuel L. Jackson and Robert Downey Jr. are also publicly hinting at a con job, that's some heavyweight backup Baldoni might be counting on, even if they're not directly in his corner. So here we are, knee-deep in a saga that has it all. Big personalities, massive stakes, shady rumors, and potential legal fireworks. Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni started off as quiet adversaries. But now the rumor mill has pulled in Ryan Reynolds, Samuel L. Jackson, Robert Downey Jr., Mark Ruffalo, and possibly the entire Marvel ecosystem. The allegations range from petty sabotage to full-blown scheming for profit and control. And let's not forget those hush-hush recordings that might flip the narrative overnight. At the heart of it, we're left with questions. Is there truth to these rumors that Ryan and Blake scammed Marvel for extra money and influence? Did they really sabotage Baldoni's projects, or is he overreaching to explain career setbacks? Why are Marvel icons so riled up now, years into Deadpool's success? And how will the fans reconcile the possibility that their beloved it couple might not be so innocent? In the end, the biggest reveal might not be in some sensational piece of evidence, but in how these stars navigate the fallout. If statements get released denying everything, do we take them at face value? If Baldoni pushes forward with a lawsuit, will we finally see the rumored emails and voicemails? One thing's for sure. The more these rumors swirl without a clear resolution, the more intrigue they build. For now, keep your eyes peeled for any official announcements, cryptic tweets, or leaked audio bombs. Hollywood thrives on stories like this. Tales of ultimate betrayals, cunning manipulations, and shocking unmaskings. Whether it all fizzles out or erupts into the biggest scandal of the year, one fact is undeniable. The line between celebrity, fairy tale, and ruthless ambition is thinner than we ever imagined. And if that doesn't keep you on the edge of your seat, nothing will.